Everyone told you to believe in yourself. Your parents, your teachers, every motivational guru on the internet. But what if I told you that believing in yourself might be the exact reason you're failing? What if this feel-good advice is actually keeping you weak, delusional, and stuck in mediocrity? What if the most successful people in history, the ones who built empires, conquered nations, and left legacies that lasted thousands of years, what if they understood something about self-belief that we've completely forgotten? Today, I'm going to show you why Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man who ever lived, would call your self-help guru a fraud. Why Epictetus, who went from slave to the most respected teacher in Rome, would laugh at your vision board. And why modern self-belief culture is creating more broken people than it's helping. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the Stoics would call believing in yourself the fastest path to destruction. Let me paint you a picture of our modern world. We live in the most believe-in-yourself culture in human history. Every movie, every song, every Instagram post tells you that you're special, you can do anything, you just need to believe. And what's the result? Depression rates have increased by 52% in the last decade. Anxiety disorders affect 40 million adults in America alone. Suicide rates are at all-time highs. Young people report feeling more lost, more purposeless, more disconnected than any generation before them. Everyone's believing in themselves, yet nobody's happy. Everyone's following their dreams, yet most people hate their lives. Everyone's been told they're the main character of their story, yet they're more anxious and lost than ever before. Here's the brutal truth nobody wants to admit. Most of us aren't special. Most of our dreams are unrealistic. Most of our goals are based on fantasy, not reality. And most of our self-belief is built on absolutely nothing but wishful thinking and participation trophies. I know that hurts to hear. I know it goes against everything you've been taught, but stick with me, because the alternative I'm going to show you is far more powerful than any motivational speech you've ever heard. Let me take you back 1,800 years to a man who had every reason to believe in himself. Marcus Aurelius was born into wealth, trained by the best philosophers, handed the Roman Empire, literally the most powerful position on earth. If anyone had a right to massive self-belief, it was him. But here's what he wrote in his private journal. Remember that very little disturbs the wise man, for he is not concerned with the impression he makes, but with the truth of his actions. Notice what's missing. No, I'm amazing. No, I can conquer the world. No, I believe in myself. Just cold, hard focus on reality and virtue. Or take Epictetus. This man was born a slave, literally owned by another human being. His leg was broken by his master and never healed properly. If anyone needed self-belief to overcome his circumstances, it was him. But Epictetus taught, wealth consists in not having great possessions, but in having few wants. He didn't believe he deserved better. He didn't visualize his freedom. He focused on what he could control, his thoughts, his character, his responses, and he became one of the most influential teachers in history. These men understood something we've forgotten. Confidence without competence is delusion. Self-belief without evidence is just fantasy, and fantasy gets you destroyed by reality every single time. They built their success not on believing in themselves, but on something far more powerful, accepting reality and working within it. Now, maybe you're thinking this is just ancient philosophy. Maybe you believe modern psychology proves that self-belief works. Let me show you exactly why that's wrong. First, let's talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. This isn't just some obscure study. This is one of the most replicated findings in psychology. The research shows that incompetent people dramatically overestimate their abilities. The less you know, the more confident you are. The more delusional your self-belief, the less competent you actually are. Think about that. The people who believe in themselves the most are often the least qualified to do so. Second, there's something called depressive realism. Studies consistently show that people with mild depression judge their abilities, their relationships, and their future prospects more accurately than optimistic people. Depression removes the delusion filter. Happy people are literally living in a fantasy world. The research by Lauren Alloy and Lynn Abramson showed that depressed people are better at predicting outcomes, better at assessing their performance, and better at understanding cause and effect. Meanwhile, positive people consistently overestimate their control and abilities. Third, let's look at the self-esteem movement. For 30 years, we've been telling kids they're special, giving participation trophies, boosting self-esteem. What happened? We created the most narcissistic, entitled, fragile generation in history. The research by John Twenge shows that narcissistic personality traits have increased by 30% since the 1980s. Young people score higher on narcissism scales, while simultaneously reporting more anxiety, depression, and feelings of emptiness. But here's what really matters. Every major failure in history started with someone who believed in themselves too much. Hitler believed he was destined for greatness. Every failed entrepreneur who bankrupted their family believed in their vision. Every person who destroyed their relationships, chasing their dreams, had massive self-belief. Self-belief didn't save them, it destroyed them. The self-help industry is worth $13.2 billion. $13 billion. You know what that tells me? That self-belief doesn't work. If it worked, you'd buy one book, apply it, and never need another one. But instead, people become self-help addicts. They go from Tony Robbins to Gary Vee to the next motivational guru, constantly needing their next hit of "you can do it" dopamine. And here's the sick part. The industry knows this. They know that telling people to believe in themselves creates customers for life. Because when your self-belief inevitably crashes into reality, you don't blame the advice. You blame yourself for not believing hard enough. Oh, I must not have wanted it badly enough. I must not have visualized clearly enough. I must not have had enough faith. It's genius marketing, but it's destroying lives. Meanwhile, the people selling you this advice, the motivational speakers, the life coaches, the believe in yourself gurus, they're not successful because they believed in themselves. They're successful because they identified a market need and filled it. They built systems, they understood psychology, they created products that people wanted. They didn't believe their way to success. They strategized, planned, and executed their way to success. But they can't sell you strategy because strategy is hard work. Belief is easy. Belief feels good. Belief requires no effort. So they sell you the drug, not the cure. So what do the Stoics recommend instead of delusional self-belief? I'm going to give you 4 principles that actually work, that have been tested for over 2,000 years, and that will build real strength instead of fake confidence. Don't believe you can handle anything. Prepare so thoroughly that you don't need to believe. Marcus Aurelius didn't believe he could be a great emperor. He studied philosophy, military strategy, governance, and economics until he became one. When Navy SEALs go into combat, they don't rely on believing in themselves. They train until their responses are automatic. They prepare for every scenario. They build competence so deep that confidence becomes irrelevant. When surgeons operate, they don't visualize success. They study anatomy, practice procedures thousands of times, and prepare for every complication. Their skill, not their belief, saves lives. Build competence, not confidence. Each evening, ask yourself, did I act with courage today? With justice, with temperance, with wisdom? Don't ask if you felt good about yourself. Ask if you lived according to your values, regardless of how you felt. So here's your moment of truth. You can close this video and go back to your vision boards and positive affirmations and hoping that believing harder will somehow change your reality. Or you can choose the harder path, the path that actually works. You can stop believing in yourself and start building yourself. You can stop hoping for the best and start preparing for reality. You can stop demanding that life be fair and start becoming strong enough to handle unfairness. Hit the bell notification because next week I'm dropping a video called Why Self-Discipline is a Myth and What Actually Works. Another sacred cow that needs to be slaughtered. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me one belief about yourself that you know deep down isn't backed by evidence. Let's get brutally honest in the comments section. No judgment, just reality. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this, someone who's stuck in the self-belief trap, someone who's been positive thinking their way to failure, someone who needs a reality check more than they need encouragement. Remember, the truth doesn't care about your feelings, but the truth will set you free. The question is, are you ready to be free, or do you want to stay comfortable in your delusions? Choose wisely. Your future self is watching.